Yo, what is up? And welcome to Talk Real Talk. I am the host of the show, and my name is Leon Omari. I just want to say how grateful I am that you're taking the time to currently listen to my voice. Be here, dedicate some of your time to listen to what I'm about to say today. And before we even get into anything, right, we obviously got to start off the show with the slogan that I've come up with. Welcome to Talk Real Talk, where we are in the real world. And what do you do in the real world? We talk real talk. Now, oh my goodness, today has been it's been a pretty interesting day for me personally because first of all, the weather in Ireland, we've been getting a lot of orange weather warnings, and it's been snowing, it's been sunny, it's been icy. Like, the weather is so bipolar, it's kind of crazy to actually determine what it is it's going to be, right? So I wake up this morning, I came home late last night at like 8 o'clock in around that time, right? And I was so tired when I was driving, like, fam, I was so tired. All I wanted to do was just get to bed. As soon as I got into the house, I just had something small to snack on. I hopped into the bed, and it was around 8:39. I hopped in. I said, okay, look, I'm gonna doze off for 1 hour and then see what happens, right? And especially with how my schedule has been the last few weeks, I mean, I'd be working, let's say, 2 or 3 shifts every weekend. I have assessments piling up. I have friends that I need to keep in contact with and everything. So obviously, for myself and for me personally, I fully understand there's a lot of other people who are going through even more stuff than I am, and they're still managing, and they're probably more tired than I am, but they still keep on going. Respect to you guys, especially you students out there, fam, who have to take the bus so early in the morning and then have to, I don't know, work as well, whatever other issues you may have, even if it's like issues at home. Respect the honesty, keep on doing what you're doing, because you're building up a really good, strong, resilient character within you, and just know you're doing great. Absolutely right. So I come home exhausted as hell. Obviously, especially me being an extrovert, right? I'm always so, I guess, I just love talking to people, like conversating with people. I like talking about like really dumb stuff at times. And like, I'm always just so exhausted socially, right? But I just love the hustle, man. I just love talking to people and talking to people who like serve you at like shops and stuff like that, saying jokes and everything with them, because I've worked as a bartender, I've worked as a waiter, I've worked as a shop assistant. I currently work at one of the biggest franchises in the world. I'm making it bigger than it seems, but it's pretty nice, right? So I have like a wide range of different experiences that I've had in terms of the workplace, right? And so every single time I get the chance to talk to anybody who works there, I always try and make the day a little bit better, even if it's like asking how their day is, asking a few questions, to engage their minds, because I know that you know this very well. When you're working, you get so exhausted. You're fed up when people treat you like garbage, especially like I've had when I was working as a waiter and a bartender. Some people just give you no respect. And when you get that one person during the day who actually gives you that respect, it's like, okay, maybe it's not so bad working here, because there's always the minority who actually give you like a little uplift of happiness. Like, they inject you nicely with the little shot of happiness and whatever else it may be, right? So I hop into bed. It's now like 9 o'clock. I say, okay, I'm gonna doze off for an hour, and then I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna do some work. I'm feeling pumped, I'm feeling ready. I know as many of you obviously have this feeling. It's like you're ready to work, you're ready to go, but then like after your rest or whatever, you're like, yeah, I'm feeling motivated, I'm feeling inspired. This is the day that I changed my life. I go to sleep for an hour, I wake up. I'm like, nah, I need another 20 minutes. I say, okay, cool. I put another 20 minutes on the timer. I keep it going. I wake up. I'm like, nah, I'm far too tired. Do I really have anything to do? After I just had that motivational, inspirational feeling within my mind, I said, nah, screw this. I'm just going to go straight to bed. And I didn't wake up until around 8:30 today. And as soon as I wake up, I look outside. It's so cold. The house is freezing. My bed is so cozy. You don't want to leave. You're in your comfort zone, right? And here I am thinking that class is at 9. So as soon as I wake up, bad habit, but I go on my phone. I check what my friends are saying in the group chat and stuff. And they're literally just like, yeah, there's no classes today until 10:30. So I go hop on my email on Outlook, and I see, yeah, there's no class till 10:30. Cool, I can sleep in a bit more. But then I'm like, I'm already awake. So what's the point in waking up now? I mean, and going back to bed when I'm already feeling awake. So I stay up, and then I was kind of worried because we had another French presentation on today. And my duo, my teammate, right, she's off traveling in Europe for like 3 days into 2 different countries. Fair freaking play to her. And the lecturer ended up saying the class is canceled. So I was like, okay, perfect. So I'm pretty much free until 11. Right. I get ready, I shower, I do the shebangs and all that. And then I walk outside, turn my car on. And as soon as I start driving, I hear there's an issue with it. And then it starts like, I hear like scratching sounds and struggling sounds from the front side of the car, especially by the wheels. I then come to realize that the left side is lower than the right side, which means my spring is broken. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's no way this is happening. And it was happening. And I just started to think back to a time when I was younger and I didn't actually have to feel or experience any of what I'm going through right now. Because adulting, which is the whole point of this episode, is one of the hardest things ever. I'm so confused on what to do, on how to go about things, even though a lot of the time I rely on my mindset and what I listen to really carry me through the moments where I'm really unsure. And obviously my friends and my mother, I really do rely on them to help me at times, because it's so damn stressful to actually become an adult or to get into the phase, right? Because obviously you have the cliche things or the real things where it's like you have to pay bills, you have to work, you have to do your work and everything. It's really, really hard. And I just can't imagine a life. But I have to realize that that's what life is. That it's that damn hard, right? And I actually decided. So it's been like, 2-3 weeks since I last went out, right? And on this podcast, I'm all about being hot. I got that acronym or synonym from Transformation Church by a man called Michael Todd. I love the man. He's just so smart, right? And basically, hot means humble, open, and transparent. So it's been like 2-3 weeks since I was last out, and I was like, you know what? Nah, this Wednesday, actually, like 2 days ago, I was like, I need to go out because I missed the vibe and everything. So I decided, okay, cool, I'll go out. Stay at one of my friends' place and everything. And every single time that I am actually out or whenever I'm on my own, right, I always have a tendency to really, really overthink about the future, worry too much. What's going to happen to me? What am I going to become? What am I going to turn into? These are always thoughts that I'm always having in my head, and sometimes these thoughts really do annoy me, right? And I'm most certain, because if you're ever going through something, always know that somebody else is also going through the same thing. And so I understand, as I'm speaking right now, that you may have had this sort of like error or thing that you're going through, right? Where it's like you're always worried about the future, what's going to happen, how are you going to turn out, what route should you take, what direction should you go, who should you be friends with, who should you not be friends with. There's so many different possibilities of what your life can be when you're very young. And I say this because if you look at yourself when you're in college, there's very many different directions that you can take for your own life. If you're doing sciences, you can become a doctor, you can become a physiotherapist, you can become a teacher, a PE teacher. Which do you take? As a business student. And I actually feel this, that being a business student is probably one of the most challenging one of the most challenging business courses, in the sense that when you tell people you're doing business, it's like, oh, of course you are, or like, oh, very smart, or whatever. There's like this sort of image that being a business student actually puts in people's heads, right? And so being a business student, when you're doing business, like obviously you're going to go into career where it's like marketing or finance or HR management or whatever, right? There's always like this different routes you can take. But a majority of students and people in today's current world, right, especially with social media and big business CEOs and everything, it's like this idealized life. And a lot of students who do business pick it because of the life that they can have, where they can be extraordinary, where they can be millionaires and not average and everything. I feel that's a reason why many people choose business. And that is personally one of my reasons, right? I chose to do business because I feel like I would enjoy being in such a challenging environment where like you're actually making a difference in the world. It doesn't have to be like crazy big difference, but you're making a difference in the world. But at the same time, you're making bank. You're doing great experiences. You'll get to have friends who are like millionaires and billionaires, depending on how hard you work. And so I feel like a lot of pressure is put on business students. They may not say it, they may not feel it, but a lot of people want to start businesses. How do you start a business when there's like 20,000 other businesses? You start to get these thoughts in your head where they're like scary. It's like, bro, How am I going to make a product that hasn't already been made and make money off of that? How am I going to be able to hop into this environment where there's already people solving it? How am I going to be different? So there's a lot of these small pressures that I don't know if anybody else who's doing business has actually experienced this, but where you kind of doubt yourself because everyone else is already doing it. So then why should you? Okay, I'm here to tell you that I'm currently also battling those sort of thoughts, and there's really no way out of getting out of such thoughts. But it's like kind of toning it down, stop thinking about the future and return to the here and now. Meditation is a very good practice. I myself do not practice it as much, or I don't really do it that much. But every single time that I'm in the moment, I'm overthinking, I'm worrying too much, I'm like, okay, let me take a few deep breaths, bring it back, bring it back here, right now. How am I feeling? I see cars, I'm with my friends, what are they talking about? Or I'm in class, we're learning this is all I need to focus on for now. Because it also leads me to this as well. And when I was on my night out on Sligo, I was just on my phone. I was just on my phone reading articles, right? And one article I came up across on was I searched, can overthinking cause you stress, right? Yeah, I did. I searched that. Can overthinking cause you stress? And the answer is it can, but if you do extreme levels of overthinking where it's like, wow, this will, oh man, like your heart starts to race and everything, like that sort of thing, you can get I actually looked this up. You can get panic attacks. You can get chronic anxiety. You can get depression from thinking too much about the future. And especially if your thoughts tend to be oriented towards negative thoughts, then the chances of that happening are really high. Now, I feel like I have gotten anxiety from the future, thinking about the future. I guess I've gotten a bit depressed where I'll be like really down because it's like I really don't think that I can do that. I don't think I'll make it there. There's no way me of all people can do such a thing, right? Or there's no way you can ever change these people's life. There's no way that you can ever become a big business owner or like a good business owner who's making a good amount of money every single year, a good turnover every single year. There's no way that you could ever do that. So then why even try? So like these sort of things sometimes run through the mind, right? And it's about being being open, right? And transparent. And I was reading up on this article, and basically what was being talked about was there's two different experiences that you can have mentally, right? I don't know what the lighting is like, since this is actually, the sun has gone down a bit, right? I hope it's not too bad. Let me just have a look. No, we're all good. We're all good. We're all Gucci, right? So it's like there's two different mental experiences that you can have, right? So you can live a lot of your life being mostly pessimistic, seeing the negative in things, thinking you're not good enough all the time, seeing the worst in people and everything. You can always have a pessimistic, negative mindset throughout your life. Or since my audience is to young people, I like young mindsets. I'm talking to you. You can either have a mostly pessimistic experience, or you can have an optimistic experience and carry that on through your life. That can be, you always try to see the good in people. You compliment yourself. You see the better in yourself, even when you're down. You always remind yourself, look, everything is okay. I'm a human. I go through these things as well. There's that side of life as well. And when you're optimistic about a lot of things, not much will actually disrupt your flow of thinking. When you think negatively of things, a lot can disrupt your flow because you start to overthink, get anxiety, get depressed, whatever other they're not negative emotions, whatever other emotions you may get from that side of the spectrum, right? And so it's like, how do you find the balance between positive and negative, right? That one is up to you. I'd recommend journaling, like I always do, a bit of exercise, even if it's a small, but just do something small for yourself, right? But what I was reading up on, I the question I'd asked was, can overthinking, what was the question again? Actually, I can't really remember. How do you stop overthinking about your future? And let me put this as simple as I possibly can. If you have a positive idea of what the future will look like, and it's always positive, let's say now, I believe in the future I'm going to become very wealthy, I'm going to become or very rich, going to be very blessed, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that, doing these projects, running this far, lifting this heavy and everything. I believe and I believe in my heart. That is what I will be like. Nobody can stop me. Remember that. On the negative side, where you may not necessarily be, like not negative side, on the pessimistic side, you may not be like you hate life and everything, but you could be like, I don't think that really go well for me, so I won't even try. Or, um, what's the point in even doing that? I don't really see the point. What's the benefit for me in that? What's the point in trying? I already have this many obstacles, so then, what even is the issue, right? So then, when you have the positive thoughts about the future, a study was actually done, like a research study, whereby these people did research on like different people, right? And they asked the people who had positive experiences about the future. They asked them a few questions and stuff, right? And basically, what they were trying to determine was that the people who have positive thoughts and futures, thoughts and things about the future, they tend to not work as hard to achieve that future. They don't tend to look at things realistically, and they tend to go off of this head high they have from thinking of the future. And I was like, damn, wait a second, I feel like that could be me. And it's like, you think that you're already going to have that life. You think that you're already going to be, etc., this, etc., that, right? But at this moment, right now, in the present, which matters more than the past or the future, you are doing el nada. You are doing el nada. So then how do you think you can get to that life that you want if you are doing nothing now? Think about that. That makes a lot of sense. Because you're always in this positive state of mind where it's like, yeah, I'm going to be that. Yeah, I'm going to be that. So I don't even need to do this. Nah, screw the job. I know I'll be rich in the future. Oh, I don't need to go hang out with them because I won't need friends when I'm older. And I'll be like this, right? That's the sort of positive mindset. That's the actual destructive side of it. That's the destructive side of it, because you think you're going to be everything. But because of how you're acting now, you won't get it. You're not taking the necessary steps to get it, no matter how small. You just automatically think, when I'm older, I will be blessed with this. But that is not the truth, as the research study showed. I will try find the link, and I'll put the link in the bio. You can go and read it in your own time. I 100% recommend this, because it could possibly be one of the barriers that will be broken by you just reading this little thing and applying it to your own life by journaling. Second thing is, the people who necessarily want us positive about their future, right? Doesn't mean they hate their lives. Just they're really as positive or positive thinking or positive oriented about their future. But they found that they were the ones who would end up actually doing bigger things than the ones who were positive. Because the ones on the other side were looking at the world with a realistic point of view. Right? They'd see, okay, I have this challenge. How can I overcome this challenge? This is what I'm going through right now. These are the emotions I'm feeling right now. This is the health problems that I have right now. How can I address these things? I don't care about what happens afterwards. How can I just address these now? They end up doing it. They end up going over the obstacles. And then guess what? They achieve results that they never even thought would happen, because that was not their goal. Whereas people on this other side are always looking at the goal, that they're forgetting to look at the steps needed to get to the goal. You can set the goal, forget about it, but have steps on doing that goal, but don't think about the goal. Would that be a good goal setting strategy? I really don't know. But it does make sense, doesn't it? And so I've just been doing a lot of thinking, and especially with me, there's a lot of different ways that I could take with college. There's a lot of different ways that you can take with college. And so it's like, what way would be the best way for me? What would lead to fulfillment and happiness? What would lead to me becoming a better person and having better friends and being a better friend and etc., a better family member, whatever? What would be the breakthrough that I need for me? And even leading on to becoming an adult, right? It's one of those things where it's like being an adult, a young 18-year-old adult, right? Soon to be 19 in July the 27th. If you want to buy me a gift, go for it. You know what I'm saying? But as I grow older, every day, every week, every month, I'm coming to learn that the older you get, the harder you see. Wait, how would I write down here? That achieving your dreams is harder to achieve. Achieving your dreams is harder to attain than you thought. Achieving your dreams as you get older you realize that it's harder to actually get those dreams because reality hits you so damn hard. It's like, hey, okay, get up, get up. Nah, you're good. You're having a good time. Life is good. Yeah, get up. Yeah, you're doing well. Yeah, that's psych. And it's like life is just hard, man. Life is hard, but it's beautiful because there's so many paths that you can take. There's so many possibilities and things that you can do with your life, no matter what position you're in. If you're on a head high, if you're on the lowest of the low, that's what life is meant to be. So damn beautiful, man. That when we take things for granted, when they're gone, is when you realize, like, wow, I really had that, or I really experienced that. Do you know what I mean? And I even have a beautiful, beautiful story to say, or like a lovely little inspiring story to say. And basically, when I was young, right, you can even ask some of my cousins, like Samuel or Joy or Emmanuel. When I was young, you could have called me a delusional kid, right? Not delusional as in like stupid, but like a big dreamer. And I'm not trying to be like I just talked about on the positive side thing, but I'm just trying to say where I come from and a bit of my history. Because not only does that motivate me, it could also give you some inspiration to think back on what you did in your life as a kid and see how can you use that direction when you're young to really push you forward. And I remember always telling my cousins and my mother and stuff, like, hey, look, I can't wait to one day own a Lamborghini, right? I can't wait to one day own a Lamborghini, or like, oh, I'll have a really nice modern house. When I was like 10, man, like 10, 11, maybe even younger. Oh, one day I'm going to own a Lamborghini. I'll have a nice house with this type of stuff and all. You know how kids, you know how we as kids are so creative. I'll have that, and then I'll be traveling so much and everything. They'd all just laugh at me. You know what I mean? They'd all just laugh at me. And at that point, I was young. I didn't really have like self-awareness or anything. So I was like, look, they're just laughing because they're just like, yeah, you can do it. You can do it. But then as you grow up, you realize, like, damn, they were laughing because like they were genuinely laughing. Like, how can you think you're going to own a Lamborghini at a young age or whatnot? And I guess there's even this one time, right? I won't even mention any names or anything. Basically, I once told someone I knew, a very good family friend and stuff, that, oh, one day I want to own a Porsche by X age. And I'll be living it up like this, or I'll be doing this and that. And that's where I also want to talk about, like, or mention the importance of telling your dreams to people. Not everyone is meant to hear your dreams. And I told him, one day I'll be driving this type of Porsche by this age, and I'll be helping this many people, and then have this much money in my bank account, and I'll gain fulfillment from doing good causes and stuff, all by a young age. So you know what they looked at me and did? They looked at me, they laughed at me, and they called me delusional. Yeah, they called me delusional. So I open up to you. I tell you my dreams. You look at me, you laugh at me, and you call me delusional. What on earth do you think? Where on earth do you think that will happen to you? Do you know what I just did? I smiled, told God, don't forget what this mouth has just said. And I just kept talking to her. But, you know, that's when you come to realize, like, damn, you can have a really big mindset. You can have really lovely and attainable characters and stuff. But the people you surround yourself with as you're adulting, the small things you do that compound over time, vaping, drinking, working out, reading, you have to choose wisely what it is you want, especially from our young age. You're 18, you're 19, you're 20, you're 17, you're 15, you're 14. Whatever age you're listening to this at, whatever day you're listening to this at. Choose your habits correctly. Even if you're in bad habits, screw it, you're young, right? You will change. I hope you change. Don't just have that wishful thinking, like I just said. Choose your habits wisely. Choose your friends wisely. There's different types of friends. There's friends straight for work. There's friends for having fun and working. There's friends who bring you down. There's friends who can dumb you down, right? There's friends who can dumb you down by doing fuck all, right? Choose your friends wisely. Keep your family close. Keep your friends close. Just journal, read books. I haven't really been reading many books, because I feel a lot of what I talk about now I've already internalized in my head, and all I'm doing is applying it to my life, seeing it work in my life, and then just talking about it. No, I don't want to ever talk about anything that I'm not genuinely serious when I'm talking on the podcast, right? Because my cat, right? Let me show you my cat. Let me show you my cat. Is that recording? This is my cat, Tina. Hey, Tina. Say hello to the camera. She's very nice. You want to stay? Flicking her all up furs all over me now. But like, just know what it is that you want to do it yourself. You don't have to. Don't listen to that. Just take it easy with whatever it is you're going through. Adulting is not easy at all. Okay. Adulting is not easy at all because at times you can get identity crises where like you don't know who the hell you are, and it's like, fam, or do I want to be known for? Okay, depends on how big your dreams are as well. But it's like, don't get swayed off your path by people who aren't bringing you any value. Stay true to yourself. Stay learning, even by listening to podcasts like I Talk Real Talk, where you're in the real world. And what do you do in the real world? You talk real talk. Keep it real by listening to podcasts like where you're thinking. Listen to different points of views. Modern Wisdom, the Bedros Keuilian Show. Love that podcast. Diary of a CEO, the Mindset Mentor, Transformation Church Sermons, right? What else? The Making Money Simple podcast. What else to listen to? You know, stuff like that. That's what you need to listen to because they really, like, what's the word? They really expand how you see things, okay? And you get advice from millionaires. You're literally able to go on your phone, listen to a millionaire talking, or a billionaire, or a multi-millionaire. You were literally able to get their advice on a phone, plug in your earphones, listen to the advice they have to tell you. You're able to get a doctor's point of view, what they did, how they learned. You're able to get a mechanic's point of view on things and everything. And if that's what your specific field is, there's literally no excuse for you to not know more, learn, and be better. Right? If you're on TikTok all the time, I'm on TikTok. Listen. Before I even say this next point, I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I scroll aimlessly at times, watching absolutely stupid, dumb stuff that doesn't advance my mind, right? Absolutely. But you have access to all these different things that will actually make you smarter. You don't have to speak or talk like them, but just listen to what they have to say. Even if you don't remember 90%, remember that 10%. Because you build it up over time. And then when your chance comes, when it's the time to walk into that opportunity, you're already ready to go in because you're armed with the knowledge and you subconsciously apply what it is you learn. And then you're like, where did I get this? You know, that sort of a thing. So it's like, just continue learning. Do whatever it is you can just to learn something small, man. Because you can be with a group of friends. You all join college. This is the reality of things. You can be in a group of friends. You make a friend group. You all start in the same place, and you all won't finish in the same place. Some may drop. No, we'll look at college as a whole. You all start the same year, the same time, the same courses, and the same work. You will all finish after the 4th year, but not everybody will be in the same place. Some will have dropped out. Some will just end up with the basic degree, not have a clue what to do, what job to go to after the 4 years. Some will have established successful businesses. Doesn't have to be multi-million businesses. They'll have started something good for themselves. Some will have advanced even further than those that have advanced farther. There's different levels to this shit. And depending on what you want to do with your time in the college, is all up to you. Do you want to just be a random number the whole time you're in the college and the only people that know you by name were your friends? Is that all you want to be known for? Because that's sure as hell not what I want to be known for. I want to be known for inspiring students, to inspiring people, to inspire my friends. That as you listen to me, as we're friends and everything, as we all help each other out, that you're growing, that you're becoming better, fam. If you just want to stay the same the whole 4 years, get away from me, because that's not what I'm about. We need We need like-minded people to be together, to stick together, because that's what it is about, advancing with purpose, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And to even finish up on that note, if you have not liked and subscribed, I know we ended up like really crazy, like some crazy ass like mountain or something, right? But if you really did enjoy this video and you got some value off of it, I was actually reading a few of my notes, but like the 95% of that is free roll. It's the way you think. It's what you want people to learn from. Okay, I'm not perfect, blood. I'm not perfect at all. I'm just trying to have a good time making podcast episodes. I don't give a damn if they get millions of views or not. I'm just making a podcast that even if it's 1 or 2 people listen to my stuff, I'm happy. I'm enjoying the process in my room, recording with the little lighting kit. Just put on some nice clothes. I was actually meant to go to college. Remember the story I told you earlier. But it's literally just enjoying the process and enjoying how you're feeling doing this, because opportunity favors the prepared. All right, leave it off with that, right? But if you haven't already listened to my last episode that I posted on Spotify called what was the name of my podcast episode? I also forgot it myself. Was it? Yeah, Practice Makes Purpose. Go listen to that. I will leave the link to that episode in the link below. If you love this episode, like, subscribe, share this episode, and do give me a follow on all my socials and all that. If you got some value and wisdom off of this, give me a text. And if there's something you want to talk about on the podcast that relates to my whole niche, self-improvement, self-awareness, young people, the youth, interesting stuff that will educate us, bro, come on, man, send me a message and we can 100% make something work. And with that all being said, we're now leaving the real world because we've just talked real talk. And it's been your boy Leon. I'm out. Peace.